Welcome to the Flowchart app. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at an overview of work orders in the item database, how to send work orders to subcontractors in the subcontractor work order web view, how to create quotes and then translate those quotes into current work orders, creating invoices, and the customer invoice web view. On the active customer list, you've got any current work orders under each customer name. To add a new work order, you click the customer name, and then next to current work orders, you click the plus sign. And then you click the item name field to select an item from the item database. The orange names are category names, so you can filter the item list by category. For example, repair items, chemicals, or include all. You can click here to edit any items, or click here to add a new item. In this example, we'll create a repair job. There's a couple ways to go about creating a repair work order. You can either use the generic parts and labor as the item name, and then you can type a custom description. And then you can just click Save to save this work order, or you can fill in the other fields such as price, quantity, whether it's taxable. You can assign it to a subcontractor, and then any notes. An important side note is that only the description is visible to the customer on the invoice. The item name is for your reference only in the item database. Also, the price, quantity, and whether it's taxable is visible. So for this repair job, we used the generic parts and labor, and we added a custom description. For common reoccurring repairs, you can add an item for that repair in the database. For example, replace check valve. Another side note on the item names is the item list is sorted alphabetically. So you can even use a prefix for items to group certain items together. For example, on these heater repair items, they both start with the word heater. So you could have all your heater repairs start with heater, and then they'll be grouped in the alphabetical list together. So as an example, we'll click Replace Thermistor. This is also a good example of how the item name and description can be different. The item name is formatted for the item database, and the description is formatted for the customer. It says parts and labor, replace heater thermistor. So with the price and description already filled out, all you do is click Save, and it creates the work order. And then when the work order is completed, you just click Complete. If the price is 0, it'll be highlighted red as a reminder. If you need to move them back to the current work order list, you click Move to Current. If you need to assign a work order to a subcontractor, you click the Assign field. To send the work order data to any subcontractor, all you need to do is click Copy Web View Link, and then paste that into a text. And then that'll take them to a web page where they can view the address, description, and any relevant information for each repair job. That web view link is especially helpful for filter cleans. If you subcontract filter cleans and send somebody a list of, say, 10 filters, on one page they've got all 10 filter clean addresses and a map with every address. So for example, I'll go ahead and paste that link into the web browser. So here at the top we have the company name and the subcontractor name. And then we have the first address with 2 work orders, and then the second address with another work order. They can click View Account Pictures to view any repair pictures. And to view the address map, you click the View Address link. And then to view past work orders for this subcontractor, you click the View Archived Work Orders link at the bottom of the page. Back to the Flowchart app, in the Customer Info tab, you can select what information you want to share with the subcontractor. Customer phone number, customer email, repair pictures, and customer account notes, such as gate codes. And again, when the work orders are complete, you just click Complete. And then when you process invoices, the program will automatically take all the completed work orders and the monthly charges and add them to the invoice. Another important side note, the program keeps track of the monthly charges. So if you create 2 invoices in the same month, such as an extra invoice for repair or equipment installation, it will only add the monthly charge to one of the invoices. Later in this tutorial, we'll go over an example of creating an invoice. And for an in-depth tutorial on creating invoices, you can view the invoice tutorial. Another important side note on work orders and invoices, if a completed work order has a price of 0, then it's not included on any invoices. So that way you can use work orders for tasks or reminders that are not associated with an invoice item. Another way to create work orders is to generate work orders from a quote. So let's say you give a quote for a repair job, and then you get the green light for that job. You can then copy the quote to current work orders. For example, you would click Create Quote, add the item, so then the quote is listed in the invoice and payment history list. But since it's a quote, it doesn't change the running balance. You can click Copy Link and text that link to the customer, or you can email the quote. And then if you need to create a current work order for this quote, you would simply click right here, Create Work Order. And now in the current work order list, we have that same item. And for reference, it says quote number 43. And then when that work order is complete, you just click Complete. So one of the ideas here is that you only enter things once. There's one point of data entry, and then that data is transferred from quote to work order to invoice. And it's just a click of a button to the work order and a click of a button to the invoice. So for this example, let's move the heater repair and the new heater back to the current work order list. Let's say they had a choice between repairing the old heater and putting in a new heater. So we'll delete the heater repair, and now we just have the new heater installation. For creating an invoice, we can either wait until we do the monthly batch invoice process, where the program automatically creates an invoice for every customer at the click of a button, or we can manually create one invoice for this customer only. In this tutorial, we'll look at an example of manually creating an invoice. For batch invoice processing, you can view the separate invoice video tutorial. So for this example, we'll click Create Invoice. And then we have an option to only include completed work orders on the invoice, or to include the monthly charges and the completed work orders. So now the completed work order list is empty, and we have a new invoice here in the invoice and payment history. And then you can email this to the customer, or you can copy the web link and text them the web link. You can also click the invoice web view link here to see what the customer view looks like. So it just opened up the phone browser with the invoice link. And then on the account statement below the current invoice, we have a list of all invoices and payments for this customer, with a running balance next to each line to help clarify any accounting questions. If you have any questions or would like to start using the Flowchart app, you can visit our website at flowchartpool.com. The Flowchart app includes free technical support by phone, email, or text, whichever you prefer. And if there's any topic that you would like to have covered in more detail, please let us know and we'd be happy to add another video tutorial.